Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with another StarCraft 2 commentary for you today. This is going to be a series between Acer Elfi and Stephano. We are on the map Antigua Shipyard. Starting in the upper right-hand spawn location, we have got Acer Elfi, our red Protoss player. Currently the 52nd ranked Grandmaster on the European ladder. He has got 97 wins and 68 losses, giving him a 58.79% win ratio. His opponent over here in the lower left-hand spawn position, our blue Zerg player, is of course Stephano, the number 2 ranked Grandmaster on the European ladder with, get this, 73 wins and 10 losses, giving him an 87.95% win ratio. Holy heck, that is a very strong showing here in the early going of this season. Stephano just demolishing fools. 87.95% win ratio. That is so strong. I don't expect him to keep that high of a ratio as the season progresses and he plays more games, but I tell you right now, man, he is on a roll, doing very, very well. And we'll see how this game plays out. Of course, with both these players being Grandmasters, this should be a very exciting game. At the very least, we should be seeing some strong play. Acer Elfi pathing through with his probe. He wanted to spot as quickly as possible if there was a spawning pool, and not seeing one, he immediately moves on down in that natural expansion and will be doing what he can to delay that, as he has a patrol route here for his probe and basically just using the probe to obstruct the placement of a hatchery. And this early scouting as a Protoss player against your Zerg opponent pretty much forces a pool first here from the Zerg player. Because really, with this probe, plus the possibility of pylon placement, there's no way the Zerg player can really absolutely positively lay that expansion down. You know, every once in a while you'll force that probe out of position and you can drop the hatchery, but this is what happens a lot of time. The probe dances around and then drops a pylon, and then you're like, what the heck? Elfi moving back in, he's going to spot the timing of that pool, see that it's almost complete, also spotting that there are no extractors at all, so there will not be any metabolic boost anytime soon here for Stephano. Pylon finishes. Stephano says forget this and moves on over into the 3rd position, and so he will be dropping his first expansion over here in the 3rd position as opposed to his natural position, just because of that pylon harass. He did not want to wait for those initial Zerglings. You can see 2 coming through. He did not want to wait for those to kill off the pylon before he could get this expansion going, so instead he places it here. Obviously this is a bit riskier of a position, but it doesn't look like we'll be seeing any cannon harass at all from Elfi. He is, of course, going for a Forge Fast Expand build, as I'm sure you could have spotted just by looking at the mini-map there initially. His first pylon was here. That's pretty much a dead giveaway. Will be a Forge Fast Expand, and with that, he could have done some cannon harass. Probably worried about the possible number of Zerglings that could have come out, because he did know that the spawning pool was almost finished and didn't want to risk trying to come out with anything like that. Anyway, Zerglings now check in here. He will be looking to see if there's a pylon or if the probe is still over there. Sending the other Zergling straight to cross positional, and with that he will be scouting out the front wall here. You can see the Overlord over here has scouted the position. He knows that Elfi is in the spot. He just wants to see fully what that front wall consists of. So should be moving on up with that Ling there. At the very least, just checking out front to see when and if Elfi is going to move out with anything. First expansion at the 3rd, almost finished, and there it is. Hatchery now pops, so we'll be able to start to saturate that. You can see he has decided to come out with a quick 3rd as well, dropping the first expansion at the 3rd position and the 3rd expansion at the natural position. With this, Stephano shouldn't be getting gas anytime soon. Will instead be droning up very, very hard, keeping all of his workers on the mineral field to get a lot of minerals, to be able to drone up a ton, get everything saturated, get all of the queens that he needs and everything like that. He already has 2 in play. You can see a 3rd one is coming through over here as well. Got 1 over down here. Hopefully we'll start to see, there you go, some creep spread actually coming out from Stephano right as I mentioned the possibility. Or what is it? I guess I didn't mention it. I thought about it though in my brain. I was like, yeah, now should be some creep spread, and there it is. Zergling sitting just out of the range of that photon cannon is able to get just enough vision of that wall off to see everything that's going on there. It is just that 1 cannon as defense. We will be seeing a sentry come on through, which should shoo away that Zergling. Look at that, 10 drones coming out. So yes, Stephano will be droning up very, very hard, trying to saturate all 3 of his bases that he has right now. Ling getting injured, forced to push back as a result of that sentry popping out. Another sentry coming out. We will be seeing a robotics facility here from Elfi. Instead of going for like a 6 or 7 gate push to try to push against Stephano for moving out with a quick 3rd, I'm actually not positive if he's scouted that. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Yeah, he actually doesn't know at all. So instead of risking it, he's playing it safe here and just coming out with a robo-tech style of play instead of just going with a gateway-heavy type of push. Patrolling Ling, again, this will just be for scouting purposes to see if a secondary probe scout moves out or if any sort of aggression moves out here for Elfi. Elfi just still has the one gateway right now as he is working up his strong economy here, trying to get out as many probes as he can. We will actually, ooh, look at this. War Prism coming out here for Elfi. We're doing some early game drop harass. We will keep an eye on that, see how effective that ends up being. Stephano now finally coming out with some extractors. He's got his layer tech coming through as well as a roach war and also an evolution chamber. Will allow him to start to get those upgrades, maybe get some spores if he deems them necessary. Another extractor coming out. Should probably be seeing at least one more, and there it is, a fourth extractor coming through. Now that he has spent the early part of the game saturating his mineral line, you can see that is nice and saturated in all three positions. He's got a very strong economy going right now. Mineral-wise, he's got a huge advantage over Elfi at the moment, and this is allowing him to finally make that transition into Vespene, start to get that tech, those upgrades, everything like that. Level 1 missile attack coming on through. Does have that roach warren up. I'm probably going to be seeing that speed for those when the layer does finish. And here goes the War Prism, filled up with 3 sentries, starting to make its way across the map. Elfi does that complete wall off there. Actually, no, there's still a space, but comes out with another pylon as well as a gateway. A few more gateways coming on through, 4 in production. He does have an Immortal coming out as well. So gateway plus Immortal tech is what we'll be seeing here. Level 1 ground weapons almost finished. And here goes the War Prism. Dropping right in back of the main base. Let's see how much damage he's able to do. Drops a couple of force fields. Gets a few worker kills, not a ton. And he actually isn't warping in anything at all. A lot of times with this, you'll see some zealots come on through, but instead, just forces drones off the line temporarily, kills off 3 workers, 2 workers, even not even 3, and then pulls back. I do not know. Elfi, going with that early game drop, did very, very little damage at all, and I'm not sure that that was worth it. I'm really surprised. I guess the thing is, you know, you will see zealot warpins with this. The problem is that when you do that, you're pretty much sacrificing those units. So I suppose he probably didn't felt like he could do very much damage to make it worthwhile to sacrifice the units that he would have warped in, because you can only lift off very few units here with the War Prism. It doesn't really have a lot of storage space. But after that drop, it looks like he's getting ready to mobilize. Now he could be just defending a possible 3rd. Or getting ready to push out. We'll have to see what he decides to do. We got a 4th base coming out here for Stephano. Stephano coming out with a bunch of roaches. He's got the speed upgrade, burrow research, as well as the missile attack level 1, Carapace level 1 coming through. Also with some Spire tech coming out. Got a macro hatch there in the main. There's the Spire, so we'll be working his way up into mutas. Bunch of units still outside of the natural expansion there for Elfi. Elfi also moving out with a War Prism Scout, hilariously enough. Does he have any observers yet? No, he doesn't, but he is coming out with one right now. Just sitting gateway heavy, plus those Immortals will be the unit composition over here. We are going to be finally seeing some mobilization here for Elfi as he's pushing out across the map. Again, the weapons level 1 have finished upgrading. He's going to spot this immediately, so he knows about this expansion. We'll have to see if Stephano is able to protect it here. We do have that Spire just finished, so we should be seeing some mutas come out. Looks like he will be delaying that and favor some roaches to try to defend against this push. This push is going to destroy the expansion very quickly. Those Immortals drop bases so fast. And Stephano now is supply capped as a result of losing that hatchery, and a wide open position here into this expansion as Stephano did break that down, trying to move up on the high ground. He's going to be killing off these pylons to try to delay any reinforcements from coming out. We got a few more pylons also getting dropped over here. Elfi getting ready to push. Stephano's got all of his units on the backside. He's about to get hit here at the 3rd base. Let's see if he can defend this. It's going to be hard to push on this with all those force fields that will be laid down here from Elfi. I'm concerned about this. Moving down, killing off the pylons again. He's just trying to prevent any reinforcements from coming down. Elfi's in a very threatening position here as he's sitting right next to this expansion. We get a bunch of drones pulling away from that, and Stephano losing this expo too. He's going to try to push on the backside again, trying to pull forward and kill off these reinforcement pylons. The expansion is about to get taken out. Force fields prevents Stephano's units from being able to move up there. Here comes a War Prism, and he can just use this. He's just going to use this to get reinforcements here. We get an expansion getting laid down over here. No counter aggression at all coming from Stephano. He's focused on preparing to engage with this. The problem is he's been very wary of pushing because of those force fields up into these positions. As a result, he's already lost 2 bases and is down to just that main and the natural mining at the moment. Elfi continues to push. Reinforcements now coming here from this War Prism. Here we go, Guardian Shield going to help prevent a bunch of damage here from this. Trying to push from the backside. Get ready to see those force fields. There it is. All of Stephano's forces trapped outside of his natural expansion. And Elfi's got a whole bunch over here. Now the Spine Crawlers are helping a ton. Those Guardian Shields, of course, cutting back on some of that ranged damage. Elfi trying to pull on forward with this War Prism. He's slowly losing forces as those Spine Crawlers are really doing work here. Elfi continues to try to lay down those force fields. We got a bunch more roaches, 18 lings just about to pop right now. More and more force fields get laid down. Elfi here continuing to split up the forces of Stephano. Stephano trying to come out with as many forces as he can. Elfi continuing to reinforce this aggression. It's going to be pretty close here. Another round of reinforcements forced to pull down with his drones. Roaches continue to pull on forward, trying to do what they can for damage, but the force field walls, continuous force field walls, preventing most of Stephano's forces from being able to do anything at all. And now Stephano is just losing too much. He does not have enough of an army to deal with this anymore. Elfi delaying a lot of those forces from engaging with those force field walls, ends up winning the game, and Stephano leaves with the congratulations. Elfi won this game with a very, very potent 2-base Sentry heavy push here, moving out Stalker heavy with Sentries and Immortals, and with the Guardian Shields and all of the force field walls he was able to lay down, he just made it near impossible for Stephano to defend this, force fielding a lot of his units outside of his base, splitting his army in half with force field walls, and of course the Guardian Shields cutting back on some of that projectile damage. Unbelievable push here from Elfi, very, very effective, and unfortunately for Stephano, he just wasn't able to defend again because of those consistent force field walls. All right, guys, that was game number 1 here in this series, but we'll be moving on to game 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning. Damn those force fields, huh?